Pretty close to 9:30, I think it's a minute or two after that. We will call the January meeting 2024, first time we're saying that, of the Wood County Board of Supervisors to order. The clerk has taken the role, is working on it. Supervisors Rosar and Wagner are going to join us remotely, and Supervisor Tao is on his way in, running a few minutes late. He should be here shortly. The invocation today is going to be by Supervisor Minor, and he yeah, I forgot. Well, at one time he actually was a highly, respected, elected supervisor. Now he's just a county clerk. But county clerk. Yes, Supervisor Zerflu.
I just wanted to point out, you always have the bishop lead the prayers for the year, so that's why Very Reverend Minor is leading us off.
And I did forget, Supervisor Minor, when he was county clerk, Minor before he was county clerk, used to sit here for a lot of years as supervisor. It's hard to get over that. But he's going to lead us through the invocation. He asked that you remain seated during today's invocation.
So I had done this, thank you, Mr. Chairman, if I may. I had done this a number of years ago when I was on the county board. Many of you remember, and a lot of you are old, remember Red Skelton. He had done a bit on the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's pretty cool, so I thought I'd replay that for you if I could. And of course...
Now, I went through the 7th grade, I went to the 7th grade. I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. I work in the summer, I go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher, who was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time, anyhow. He had such wisdom. And we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day. And he walked over, this little teacher, Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell, this is, he says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word? I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion, to the flag, our standard, oh glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United, that means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose. And that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people. And it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer, and that would be eliminated from schools too?
Thank you, County Clerk Minor. And with that, I'd ask you to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and thank you, Trent. Thanks for that reminder. I wish they showed that in school everywhere. I've seen that video many, many times. It's been played at a number of the events I attend, and it really hits home. So as we move on today, keep that in mind. The first thing we need to do is take care of the minutes from the previous meeting. On motion by Hamilton, second by LaFontaine. Is there any discussion on approval of these minutes? Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approval, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. All right, we have no excusals today at this point. We've got a couple people working on getting in. Trent, who do we have? Donna and Ed both on screen yet, or?
We have Supervisor Rosar. I'm looking back at IT. Wagner is having technical difficulties and will maybe join us. We'll see.
Okay, and we have one on the way, so we'll take care of that when he arrives. Resignations today, Supervisor Fisher has stated his intention that he'd like to resign from the Jail Construction Ad Hoc Committee. I'd like to honor that, so I entertain a motion to that effect by Hamilton, second by LaFontaine. Is there any discussion? Again, all in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Going forward under appointments and reappointments, I'd like to take these together. Is there any objection to that? All right, seeing none. Appointments, Supervisor Pollack to the Jail Construction Ad Hoc Committee and Emily Arndt to the Central Housing Region as the alternate. I have Lightnum in a motion and Bry as a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Again, all in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. All right, any public comment today? Any public comment? Don't see any. All right, we'll move right into the packet then. Page 5 in your packet, referrals for January, and as you see, it's an interesting page because there are none. Moving forward, minutes of the Operations Committee, January 2nd, pages 6, 7, and 8. The update from the County Clerk's Office on 9. The update from Human Resources Departments, 10 through 13, pages 10 through 13. We have an update from the Treasurer's Office on page 14. Employee Wellness on 15. And then that brings us to the first resolution in the packet, and this is on pages 16 and 17. I ask the clerk to please read the resolution.
This will be Resolution 24-1-1, to amend the 2023 budget of various highway functions listed below for additional expenditures of $2,761,580 not anticipated during the original budget process. Fiscal note, the adjustment total is $2,761,580.
Motion by Clendening and a second by Bry. Any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? All right, please vote.
Supervisor Wagner or Rosar? Are either of them unmuted?
Isn't that an IT question, one for me?
Should be on.
Supervisor Rosar? Supervisor Rozar votes yes.
Trent, I think this is. Trent, I think this might be.
Yeah, the microphone's muted, but the sound is not, I don't believe. Okay, we'll close that. Oh, Wagner?
Yes.
I heard a yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Got it.
Jeez.
That resolution passes 18-0. Sound doesn't travel as fast as light, apparently. All right, moving forward in the packet, next resolution, page 18. Trent?
Okay, we'll try this. This will be Resolution 24-1-2, to approve the continuation of the self-insured workers' compensation program for the County of Wood in compliance with Wisconsin Administrative Code DWD 80.60 sub 3. Fiscal note, the general assessment rate for self-insured employers is prorated and assessed as a percentage of the state of Wisconsin's workers' compensation division costs compared to insured claim costs.
And looking for a motion, Hamilton, and a second by Lightnum. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? I ask you to please vote.
Supervisor Wagner?
Yes.
Supervisor Rozar votes yes.
And again, that resolution passes 18-0. 18-0. All right, moving forward, pages 19 through 21, minutes of the Health and Human Services Committee of December 21st. That's 19 through 21. The monthly update from the Health Department, pages 22 through 25, 22 to 25. Update from the Wood County Human Services Department, beginning on page 26, and that runs all the way through page 33. 26 to 33 begins with Director Brewings. Any questions there? If we move to page 34, on both pages 34 and 35 is the next resolution brought forth by almost every committee in the county.
This will be Resolution 24-1-3, to allocate opioid settlement funds to address the opioid crisis in Wood County. Fiscal note, Wood County is projected to receive approximately $1.57 million from the initial opioid settlement over the next 15 years, ending in 2038.
Motion by Fisher, second by Clendenning. Is there any discussion? And all the supporting information, this is follows that on pages 36 to 55. Any questions, any discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Supervisor Wagner?
Yes.
Supervisor Rozar votes yes.
And again, 18-0, resolution passes 18-0. Again, the settlement plan was pages 36 to 55. A lot of work was put into that, and I thank everyone who worked on that project, and it continues to do so. That was a big topic. Not trying to drag this up, I just got back from DC, and we spent 3 hours on opioid settlement initiatives as we move forward. And I know that our health director, Sue Smith, is about tuned into this situation as you can get. All right, as we move forward, pages 56 to 58, minutes of the Public Safety Committee of January 8th. It's 56, 7, and 8. Then we have the monthly report from the Sheriff's Department, pages 59 to 81. 59 to 81. And that brings us to the next resolution in the packet, page 82, brought forth by the Public Safety Committee.
This will be Resolution 24-1-4, to provide for unanticipated revenue from the Bureau of Traffic Safety, housed within the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Division of State Patrol, to finance additional patrol for seatbelt enforcement from January 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2024. Fiscal note, the costs to be funded in the 2024 budget are in traffic police overtime. The adjustment to the budget totals $21,561.75.
Motion by Bride, second by Hamilton. You guys are slow today. That's probably because it's so cold, it takes a while to get that up there. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? All right, I'd ask you to vote again.
Supervisor Wagner,
Yes.
Supervisor Rosar votes yes.
And again, the vote is 18-0 in favor of the resolution. To move forward, the Conservation, Education, Economic Development Committee meeting of January 3rd on 83, 84, and 85. Various Golden Sands Resource Conservation Development Council minutes beginning on page 86, and those run through page 92, 86 to 92. We have a census review and redistricting committee from December 19th on 93 and 94. The Wood County Land Information Council on 95 and 96. Our update from extension, beginning on 97, runs through 103, 97 to 103. Update from the Land and Water Conservation Department, begin on 104, ends on 109, 104 to 109. The Citizens Water Group, 110 and 111. And then that brings us to page 112, and the next resolution in the package brought forth by the Seed Committee.
This will be Resolution 24-1-5, to authorize entry into a developer and operations agreement pertaining to the establishment and management of a large solar array complex expansion. Fiscal note, none. By law, the county will indirectly receive a payment in lieu of tax type of compensation from the operator of any power generating utility such as this one, irrespective of the agreement. The agreement serves more to protect the interests of the county than it does to directly deal with compensation.
The document accompanies this. I have a motion by Supervisor Hamilton to approve. Do I have a second? I have a second by Supervisor LaFontaine. Is there any discussion? Supervisor Lightning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am going to take the board's time on this resolution, so sit back a little bit. I feel compelled to discuss some aspects of this resolution with you, mainly because it's going to bring something like $20 million over the next 30 years into this county. And so I really don't think we should take it lightly. So just some background and some basics here. If you've been to Southwood County, if you've been to Saratoga, there's two projects out there. There's the Wood County Solar Project, which was the first one, and then the Saratoga Solar Project, which you're looking at the developer's agreement for here. So firstly, what I'd like to say about this agreement is that if you read the small print, if you read carefully, it's a developer's and an operator's agreement. The first one wasn't that. The way I understand it, was just a developer's agreement. So in looking at this as carefully as I did over the last actually 4 years with the two projects, I think at some point in time there should be a developer's agreement with Savion, this is the developer, and an operator's agreement with whoever's operating it. So again, some background. The Wood County Solar Project now for the past year has been operated by Alliant Energy. They've been really good community partners with the town of Saratoga. One of the things that the town achieved from that agreement was a $35,000 electronic message board outside of the town hall that went up about 2 weeks ago. And that's actually not from Alliant Energy, it's from the Alliant Energy Foundation. But the operator, not the developer, but the operator has been a good community partner. And I would look for that to happen with both Alliant Energy and Savion or whoever buys the second project. So that's why I'm speaking at some length to you about this today. Okay, second thing I want to say, concerning the overall agreement, I think what you're looking at on pages 112 or whatever it is, I think it's okay, maybe slightly less than okay, for the 5,000 people that live in the town of Saratoga. Some of them have expressed to me some dislike for the second project.
And then I'd like to go on and say, it is a great agreement for the 72,000 people that live in Wood County. Green energy, I think that's wonderful. Okay, third thing I'd like to say, there are some specifics about this agreement that you're going to be voting on shortly, as soon as I shut up here, that are less than great in my estimation. There's 26 in there. I'm just going to talk about 3 of them. So bear with me on that. First one, battery storage. When this was first talked about, we were told that the storage would be in like 10 semi-trailers, 53-foot trailers, located throughout the project. That's changed a whole lot now. Now they're talking 7 acres. So can you imagine 7 acres parked with how many semi-trailers? How many would that be in 7 acres? We're talking about a really large area. So we had asked in the first agreement and now in the second for a containment reservoir underneath the batteries, the lithium-ion batteries. Okay, so that's going to be there. That's good. Nothing leaks into the groundwater underneath. Meeting after meeting, though, the greatest danger here with battery storage is fires in those batteries, and then the ensuing air pollution or whatever that would result. I think, just my own thinking here, if we would develop an operator's agreement, that there should be some sort of fire suppression apparatus in that battery storage area, in that 7 acres. Maybe that's in the works, I don't know. Okay, second thing I want to talk about, getting into the real specifics here, is water monitoring. At the time of the Wysocki CAFO fight, back some years ago, the town of Saratoga put in 10 monitoring wells. Those 10 monitoring wells are still there. They're still working. We're still paying for it in the town of Saratoga. What Savion wants to do is monitor 3 of the 10 for just 7 years to the 30 years. I don't think that's right. I think on a rotating basis, every one of those wells should be monitored for the whole 30 years, not just 7 years. So, you know, in an operator's agreement, if one would ever be developed after this, I've got some complaints about that. Okay, the last specific that I want to talk to you about, I'm going to ask you to look at your map in your electronic packet for this. It's page 128. I'll pull that up. Highway 13 will separate the Wood County Solar Project. It was right down the middle of your map there. Highway 13 will separate the Wood County Solar Project on the right or on the west. And then the western portion of the eastern array, the Saratoga Solar Project, to the right side or west side of the road, and then the rest of it to the east or the left side of the road. Okay, what I'm concerned about is a highway safety issue here. Blue Ridge Lane, those of you that are familiar with Highway 13 South, Blue Ridge Lane lies in the gully of the 10-mile creek. It's a blind spot on Highway 13. My concern would be for school buses loading and unloading on both sides of the gully twice a day. During the height of the construction of the Wood County Solar Project, there were 30 trucks a day, area residents told me, that used Blue Ridge. And I think as supervisors, we have to be aware of that. So this blind gully at the 10-mile creek on Highway 13, former Highway Commissioner Doug Pasino, who also was a member of he was town supervisor in Saratoga for a period of years, he strongly advised during the discussions over the last few years that a right lane, right turn lane be added to Highway 13 in that blind gully at Blue Ridge Lane. To the best of my knowledge, that's not going to be done. So I have a couple suggestions here. With that situation on Highway 13 South, I think temporary flashing lights for the 16 to 18 months while, can you imagine 700,000 solar panels from China being brought into this area probably coming off Interstate 39 up Highway 73 and then south on 13. I think there's a need for flashing lights there for a period of time during construction, during the heaviest hauling. I don't know if anybody ever talked about that. I also think that better access off of Highway 13 at Tower Road would be a much better idea than in this blind gully. Okay, so those are just three of my specifics that I don't really think were looked into to the depth that they should have been when this developers agreement was established. So I'll finish up now. Lastly, this is a really big project. If you haven't been out there, take a look sometime. It covers 4 to 5 square miles, 2 miles each direction, 2 miles by 2 miles by 2 miles by 2 miles. Go out there and take a look at it. So in summary, I would say I favor 2 agreements, a developer's agreement and a separate operator's agreement. I favor the project. It's wonderful for Wood County. I'm a team player. I'm going to vote for this. But the developer's agreement that's before us right now, in my estimation, is less than ideal. It's far from perfect. There are things that could have been done better. So with that, I'll sit down. But I wanted you to know that, and I wanted you to travel out there sometime and see the 2 arrays. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor LaFontaine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have been a very strong advocate of economic development for Wood County. This is really a very excellent, outstanding economic development project. I would like to see the money, some of the monies that are reaped from this project be set in stone for economic development. I have been very frustrated with the lack of a bona fide amount of money set aside for economic development so that the county can reap more monies back, such as from this project. There are many good housing projects, many other projects that can bring money back. I'd like to see that out of this agreement, maybe 20 to 30% of the monies that are reaped to the county are set aside for economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Any other discussion? Any discussion on the resolution? All right, I ask you to please vote.
Supervisor Wagner? Supervisor Rozar votes yes. Ed?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Was that a yes or a no?
It was a yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that resolution, you got an add one there,
I can't, but it's 18 to 1.
is 18 to 1, passes 18 to 1. Thank you. All right, we had supporting documentation, the actual agreement attached there. We are now on page 135 of the packet, 135. Pages 135 and 136 are the Thursday, January 4th meeting of the Judicial and Legislative Committee. We move forward, the Child Support Agency monthly update on 137, the Clerk of Courts on 138, Corp Counsel 139, Register and Probate 140. Moving on to the HERC Committee, their minutes from January 4th on 141, 142, and 143. We have the monthly letter of comments from the Highway Commissioner, or the Highway Commissioner, on 144, and it runs 144 through 149, 144 to 149. We have the monthly update from the Park and Forestry Department, beginning on 150, and then it runs through 152, 150 to 152. We have some information from the NEPCO Lake District on 153 and 154. 155, got got some information on the 8th Creek ATV Bridge project. It's 155. The Wood County Forest Timber Bid Summary, 156 to 162. Had a good year last year in timber revenues, hopefully we'll have the same this year. And then that moves us to the resolution on page 163 brought forth by the Highway Committee.
This will be resolution 24-1-6, approval of the 2024 Wood County Forest Annual Work Plan. Fiscal note, potential loss of state aid revenues of $56,315.
By Bry, motion by Bry, second by Lightnum. As you can see, the plan is right behind that. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Any discussion? All right, seeing none, please vote.
Supervisor Wagner,
Yes.
Supervisor Rozar votes yes.
And that passes
No.
8.
Yeah, we got your no, thank you, Mr. Quincy.
No, that's a yes.
Just practicing.
This is the wrong bill.
That resolution passes 19-0. 19-0, Supervisor
Bills.
Bennett is corrected. As we move forward in the packet, pages 164 to 173 is the Wood County Park and Forestry Department's 2024 work plan. Again, 164 to 173, that's the 2024 work plan. We get to page 181, we have the update from our facilities manager. Page 182 and 183, South Central Library System Board of Trustee minutes from 11/17. The Jail Construction Ad Hoc Committee meeting from December 19th on 184 and 185. Brings us to a resolution on page 186. I guess this gets brought forth by me every year. It's the fire warden list. I guess looking for a motion to approve by Hamilton, second by Zerflu. Any discussion on this? Any discussion? All right, I ask you to please vote.
Supervisor Wagner,
Yes.
Rozar is a yes.
And it passes 19-0. I was only chuckling a little bit because we pass this every year and it comes off of my desk, and then I always have to look up, I'm looking for a fire warden, I have to go to the book to find out who we appointed. I guess I was the one who did it in the first place, and I never remember who it is. The last item in our packet today is a resolution relating to the life and public service of Kenneth Shaw. And Ken Shaw was a member of the board, very well-known business person up in the Marshfield area. I'd ask the clerk to please read that resolution.
This will be resolution 24-1-8, relating to the life and public service of Kenneth Shaw.
I have a motion by Hamilton, and I have a second by LaFontaine. All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody from? Got that. I assume that some of our Marshfield supervisors probably knew Ken. I knew him from the business perspective, not a county board perspective. Does anybody like to say anything here before we rise in a moment of silence in respect for his life and service? Okay, I'd ask you all to please rise for a moment in respect for his life and service. Thank you. Make sure copies of that resolution go to the appropriate places. Next meeting date, Tuesday, February 20th. We do have a couple events coming up, and I know some of you are signed up for them. One is the WCA's Legislative Conference coming up. February, is that February 7th and 8th, 6th and 7th? Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday, I gotta be down to Monday, but it's that week, and then we're back for about a day, and then is the NACO, the National Association Lunch Conference out in DC, follows that just a couple of days later. So a lot coming forward. I'll just share one thing real quickly, and we'll get you out of here. I just got back from DC, where we had meetings out at NACO, and I express this every time, but I cannot believe, and I know Supervisor Clendenning has expressed it many times, we have one of the more highly functional boards of any board, of any county of the 3,169 counties around the country. And our state is leading the way at NACO as well. Every state in the country turns and looks to see what we're doing. And I can tell you, most of the counties in the state look to see what we're doing in Wood County. So I want to thank you for all the work we do to garner that recognition and that respect. So with that being said, is there anything else that needs to come before the board this morning? Anything else? All right, new year started, kind of back to work, and I will declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.